So we are back here. We are back here. So I did figure out that downforce front, or no, I'm gonna do a little bit less in the front, more in the rear. There we go. That'll lead me to. There we go. And then the wheels. Oh, and the wheels will have to do the tire pressure. I ain't messing around with anything because I did take off all of that shit. But I did figure out that there is this sequential sound, or for a straight cut sound, but it's not like from CarX Drift Racing where you can go do the dyno stand and everything. I heard that all of the transmission swaps do have a straight cut sound. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute the mic, and it's not very loud, but it's there. It's there. Oh, it smells so nice. I heard that everybody on the game don't like the sound of the straight cut because it's on for every car. But how can you not like the sound of a straight cut? Just listen. Of course, it's not very loud like you would hear in Need for Speed, but the fact that it's you have the straight cut sound in gears in the game it's everything. You got the 4-liter V8, you got the transmissions that give you a stock straight cut sound whenever you swap, when you do the official swaps to T60s or all of that sort of stuff. And this is what you get. I also did take off the tune I did have for this car. I just took everything in the middle. Like right where you would expect everything in the middle would be. Because I do feel like this is the best feeling for the car. But I do still have the all-wheel drive on there. I put down a lot of downforce, and I put in the tire pressure, as you guys see. Everything else is pretty much equal. I just converted everything back to its usually stock, and all I have to do is just like brake to turn and all this sort of stuff. This car is not fast by any means, even though it's up into like the C6 class. I didn't change anything on the engine tune or anything like that. It was the tires. It was the tires and the weight, suspension, and the weight of the car that I pretty much changed. And the car feels pretty. It still feels pretty good. It can turn. It still has a hard time turning, of course. Oh, and as I said that, I just went right into the tree. I can't get over how this transmission sounds. So, thing I've noticed about this game is that every time you go faster, there's really nothing I can do because this engine that's already in the car, the 4-liter V8, puts your car up to like maybe a C4, C5, I think, wherever the whatever the car class was in, that Audi. But I've noticed that the more higher class you go, when the car's faster, the less it turns and the more it influences you to drift. I know that this CarX was based on drifting, Formula Drift and everything like that. But when you have a game, like this that's revolved around street racing and everything like that, you expect the car to, behave like a good car, like you would want. Drift or grip, or unless I'm missing something, there's a way to actually make the car a lot more grippy in the corners, especially in the 180 corners. The 90 corners, it's all right, but this dude's still tweaking out over here. I'm not sure where this dude's sitting. This dude is like tripping out here. The bad thing about this is that you can feel the car on the tires. It's not like like you can feel the car by the weight. You can feel it by the air in the tires. You can feel all that sort of stuff. So, what the hell this dude is doing? But what? Yeah, right here. So let's just go ahead and do a race and see how well it works. It's just, you can't turn corners. I do like the sound of the straight cut transmission. I do like it. As I said, it's a couple of people online have said like, oh, they want to get rid of the sound, but how can you not like the sound of the straight cut transmission? Why? It's just so iconic. It sounds so good. So we're gonna do this race, get another feel for the car, and see if we can't improve upon it, especially with the damping and everything with the transmission, or with the suspension, because I do want to figure out what is making this car not be able to turn. I know it's probably something simple. Could be the car's too heavy, or that's another thing I probably need to do is make the car as light as possible with the most amount of downforce. legitimate amount of suspension. But you can definitely see that it could use improvement. But at least I won the race. But I think we're gonna go back to the tuning shop and make this car as light as possible with the most amount of downforce, and we can play around with the suspension a little bit more. And what do you know? We're right next to a tuning shop. And keep some things like kind of stock, sort of. Okay, so the weight, we'll do all the way down. Depending on the drive type, weight reduction can affect the car's handling, grip, and overall dynamics. For front-wheel cars, transferring the weight to the rear so it increases drive wheel grip. With in turn increases acceleration and reduces skidding. For four-wheel cars, doing so will reduce acceleration, transferring the weight to the rear axle slightly improves maneuverability in rear-wheel cars. But it's also caused grip issues and can increase the car's chance of sliding. At the same time, transferring weight too far and forward. So this is an all-wheel cars or all-wheel. So we can do. Let's just see what that would do. This is the one that is too high. This may increase acceleration, but it also cause the car to wobble. So I think that we should throw this all the way down here, about right here. The front arrow all the way, air resistance. We can do that, and then downforce all the way. And let's just see what that does. I did throw up the suspension a little bit more. So the suspension is probably sitting, where I had it. But that will give me the chance to kind of play with it a little bit more. So slow bump, shock absorber compression. So I think the slow bumps I'm gonna keep up because most of the time I'm not going very fast, and that doesn't really matter. But the fast bumps will matter. So we're gonna throw that maybe right here. Slow rebound. I actually want to kind of lower this a little bit because the bouncing on those speeds kind of sucks. Fast rebound, of course. I want to be able to have this car like rebound pretty easy. So we're gonna throw that right there. The braking system. So here's where it's interesting for the rear, because the rear is what makes the car what it is. So the spring and stiffness and all of that sort of crap we're not going to mess with. I pretty much stuck that at the, where it could be stock or standard, I'd say. The rear end tire suspension stiffness while cornering. Softer anti-roll bars will reduce understeer and entering a turn, but if they're too soft, they can cause the car to lose traction. Um, it don't matter because we're already gonna combat that with all-wheel drive with lower tire pressure, so I don't think that's going to be any cause for concern. The camber, of course, um, screw the camber. We don't need no camber toe. We're not racing it out here. Um, the fast bump, we're going to turn all the way down. So in the rear, I think we're going to keep this relatively really soft compared to the front because the rear is what's going to have all the play, and I don't want the car to slide out at the rear because of the said properties. So fast rebound, of course, we're going to go down. Um, yeah, and let's just kind of see what that does a little bit. Um, yeah, we're not going to do with anything with the springs. Um, so let's see what that does. Slowly but surely, I am getting a decent. So it's already fast. What about in corners? Oh yeah, that's a lot better. So let's go. Let's see if we can't find any of those. I think it's all the way down here. I think. Or is it taking me out? So take it as this way. Yeah, this already feels a lot better. Still not perfect, but hell a lot more better. I could probably reduce something else, and it could have a hell of a lot more. Like make the suspension a little bit more softer than stiff. I could probably have more play. But already this feels so much more better. Except for my user errors. Yeah, see that will give me a little bit of play with the spring stiffness. At least it feels a lot better. So I don't want to do it too far, but I am going to reduce the spring stiffness just a tad bit. That should... Oh, that should let the car... That should let the car have a little bit more play in it. Yeah, so... The spring length is fine. Spring stiffness. That's fine. Anti-roll bars, that's fine. Camber's fine. We're gonna do it just a tad bit. Or right there. I don't want it too much, because if you put too much, the car is just gonna probably slide out. But I'm hoping the downforce, rate reduction, and all of that sort of stuff will combine. The engine's pretty good. Actually, as a matter of fact, yeah, this car looks pretty good. It's getting better. It's definitely getting better. See how it takes this corner. Yep. It's a lot better. Of course it's still gonna be a little janky. Oh, there we go. It's still gonna be a little janky. Like, it's a hell of a lot more better than what it was. Sixth gear, we're at 170, which is pretty standard for how fast the most wanted car actually is. It's between that 150 190 range. It depends, but 160 is actually a pretty decent speed. If you want to go for like an actual like a remake in a different game. Yeah, this is a lot better. I knew I had to do something with it. But I feel like that I can manipulate this a little bit more towards the front. Have oversteer to get rid of the understeer. That's the whole problem with this. It's got a lot of understeer. I don't particularly like that. Oversteer with a little bit of playing the rear will kind of make this car feel kind of good. But the way it feels now is already. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute the mic And we're just gonna listen to this. Yeah, that sounds good. I'll be back here in a second. All right, I have returned. Uh, let's uh, let's get this for another sound test here. Yeah, that sounds hella cool. Alright, so I think that's about it for this stream. I just wanted to do a short little stream, getting the rest of this car all nifty and dandy. The car is better than what it was. It's got a lot more uh, comfortable field play in it, so there's definitely some more room for improvement. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on it and see what I can do to kind of fix that a little bit. But other than that, it feels great. So, I think that's about it for this stream. If you guys like this sort of content, go ahead and give it a like. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.